From the LiveX studios in New York City, Cheesehead TV brings you two guys who like to think they know something about football.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Packer Transplants Live. I am Aaron Nagler, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Corey Behnke, my partner here at Cheesehead TV. I am coming to you from the LiveX studio in Midtown Manhattan. Corey joins us from Green Bay, Wisconsin, across the street from Lambeau Field, and we are ready to talk some Packers. What do we have on tap today, Corey?
Today, we'll gnaw on some fresh bear meat and get ready for the showdown with the Eagles. But right now, it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got the good. We got
Darnell coming into his own savage.
We got the bad. We got
Christian, not quite what we wanted, Kirksey.
We got the ugly. We got
the Bears.
Still suck.
Correct.
Boom, 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 boom.
How you doing, Corey? How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
Good to see
I'm great.
you.
Hey, Packers won.
Hey, the Packers
won.
are 8-3.
Love it.
Beat down the Bears.
They're everything we said they would be and more.
It's kind of
That's
funny.
what I love about them.
It's pretty amazing, pretty great. And hey, can I just say right off the bat here, it's great to be back in the studio, not doing this from my apartment, and actually being able to see and hear you. It's pretty lovely, I will say.
Nice.
Shout out to the LiveX crew putting this together.
You definitely look a lot better.
I feel a lot
with
better.
this camera than you did with the other one.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
There is that.
Let's start off with some Packers news, baby, because we got a bunch of it. First up, I think the headliner of the week, the Packers signed a wide receiver, Corey, so everyone can stop bitching about the wide receiver position. The Packers have signed Tavon Austin, former first-round pick. Rodgers finally gets a first-rounder to throw to, so everyone can doubly shut up about it. Next up, the, causation effect here. We got Darius Shepard has been released. This poor kid, he had two really great camps, two really forgettable seasons. Shepard undoubtedly will be remembered for two things, both of them bad, unfortunately. One is the ball going off his face mask against Detroit that ended in an interception in a primetime game last year, and then his kickoff return fumble against the Colts 2 weeks ago. Sadly, I'm pretty sure those are the two things that most Packer fans will remember him for. He is the odd man out with the signing of Tavon Austin. Another signing the Packers have made, another addition to their roster, is defensive tackle Anthony Rush was claimed off waivers from the Bears. He is a monster of a man, humongous dude. You got to think they will be looking to add him on early downs into that hapless run defense, trying to help things turn around there here, the stretch run. Earlier today, this is some really recent news, the Packers activated Chris Barnes from the reserve COVID-19 list. Good to see Barnes back out there. A.J. Dillon was at practice watching, attending, but was not participating. Barnes was actually practicing after having watched practice for the last 2 weeks or so. So it's good to have him back. Something that happened during the game, Corey, and I know you were very excited about, Aaron Rodgers hit a milestone. 50,000 yards. 50,000 yards, Corey. That's pretty insane. That's pretty,
next up,
pretty insane.
John Elway, so he can crack into that 10 spot, get in that 10 spot, and he might get it this season. I don't know 100% if they include playoffs, but if they include playoffs, he's definitely gonna pass Elway this season. I just am not sure. I'm not very good at doing homework.
Yeah, no.
So we know this. He could pass. He only needs. We've been new. He has 1,400 and approximately, can't count, but about 30 yards to go to pass Elway yet. A lot. Yeah. So let's see what happens. But looking at this though, taking a second to look ahead, Drew Brees still going with 79,612 yards.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's insane.
That's a lot of yards. That's because he plays for a coach and on a team that when they're up like 3 scores, they're still throwing bombs. They're still padding those stats. That's always been the way with Peyton.
So realistically, like, honestly, like, he has a chance. So if you look at this, right, if Rodgers, and, let's just kind of, like, forecast this out, because, math is our strength here on this show. Let's forecast this out. So he's got 50,000. The number 6, Dan Marino, 61,000. So 10,000 yards. He does between 3,000 and 4,000 yards a season, right?
Right.
So, 3 more seasons at 4,000 yards, that's 12,000 yards. He could get to Phillip Rivers status at number 5 in 3 years.
That's kind of crazy.
So, he's getting there. To get Brett Favre, he's got to get 71,838 yards.
That's a lot of yards. Keep on slinging it, Aaron.
Passing.
Now, here's a question.
That's a lot of passing.
Will he pass Brett while wearing a Packers uniform?
Nagler.
Yes. What?
Why do you do this?
What? It's just a question. It's just a question.
The show is going well.
It is.
And
it's
then
going very well.
Bring it down to its knees. Like, why? Why do you always do this to me? You just like to trigger me. Why do you do this?
It's true. It's true. But come on, that's a viable. I think that's a pretty fair question. What uniform will he be wearing when he passes Brett? That's
I don't want to think about this right now. Okay, let's move on.
We'll keep moving on to the last bit of Packers news. Very important for those of us who maybe could possibly attend this game, which is not over on this side of the screen, but on that side of the screen. Someone could be in attendance for Packers-Lions on December 13th. Has been moved to the late afternoon window. So that is now your 4:20s here in the East Coast, 3:20 in the Centrals. So, Corey.
You got to imagine that they're going to keep doing this, right? As the Packers become the NFC contenders.
Absolutely.
And don't come at me with the Saints. They're garbage, okay? They got beat by the Packers. I don't want to hear about it, okay? As the NFC contending leading Green Bay Packers come to the forefront, you got to imagine that the broadcasters are going to move us out into those afternoon slots. They want those eyeballs.
It's somewhat that. But it's mostly Rodgers. Like, these
Rodgers, 100% Rodgers.
These networks want their star quarterbacks, and they want the megastar in as big a window as possible. If you see the television map for Sunday's game against the Eagles, you saw the Eagles on Monday night. They're a terrible football team. But they're being, like, CBS is putting them on, like, 90% of the nation against the Packers because the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's no mystery. All right, let's talk about some football stuff, shall we, Corey? Since it's a football show.
Wait. Can we talk about? Can we just talk about, like, there was this? I meant to put this on the show, but I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. Somebody posted to you and I on Twitter about Lions coaches. While we just mentioned the Lions,
right.
So Matt Patricia was fired from the Lions, as we all know that watch the show, and someone posted all of the coaches. I can't even remember the first one that was on there because I don't, literally a Lions coach happens and then I just forget about him. I didn't even remember that Steve Mariucci was the Lions coach.
Yes,
I totally blanked out on
true.
that. So literally something that I'm surprised you didn't put on this script, Nagler, because we talk about it a lot about Entitled Town.
Oh, yeah.
I want everybody to go on my Twitter feed. I think it's like 3 down, and there's a shot of the last 6 or 7 or 8 coaches of the Detroit Lions, okay? And just take a look right there. Just take a look. There's only one coach that has a 500 winning percentage. There are 0 playoff games that were won. I think all told, they were in 5 playoff games, and they lost every single one of them.
Except for one. Wayne Fontes won one of them.
Wayne Fontes, that's who I was thinking of. Okay, yeah. But that was literally, I think, before I was born.
No.
It was in the 90s. It was in the 90s.
88 to 96.
I blocked it out. 88.
Yeah. I love
like
Wayne.
10.
Wayne Fontes was hilarious because he always looked like your disheveled uncle at the holiday party.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in my, I'm not going to say, but I'm in my, 4th decade here at CheeseheadTV.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 80s, in 88, I was 10.
Right.
No, I was 9. I don't even, so the last time the Detroit Lions won a playoff game, I was 9 years old.
That'll do it.
Like, just think about, I know this show, I know we talk about Entitled Town, we talk about, like, we are so spoiled, but if you really look okay? Like, if you really look at the teams out there, Detroit is a great city, arguably one of the greatest cities in America, right? Detroit deserves better from its NFL team than that.
One would hope. One would
do.
think, just not at the expense of the Packers. That's all I'm asking.
And my last thing about the Lions is Dan Orlovsky used to play for the Lions. He's garbage. I can't stand him. Okay, I'm just going to move on.
I want to read off the names. I want to read off the names from Wayne Fonts to now, because this is kind of an amazing run that the Lions have had. Working backwards from Matt Patricia, just fired. Prior to him, Jim Caldwell, who should never have been fired, but was, of course, because Detroit can't have nice things.
Didn't he have the only winning season?
Yes, one of them.
Winning percentage.
Yep.
Percentage,
yep,
yeah.
Exactly.
Caldwell.
A 563 winning percentage. Which is literally the only dude over 500 on the entire list. Before him was Jim Schwartz, who the Packers will see on Sunday as a defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Rod Marinelli, remember that? And then before Marinelli, as you said, was Steve Mariucci. That was 2003 to 2005. Before him was Marty Morningwig, former Packer assistant, who very famously in that NFL clips, when he was head coach of the Lions, said, "That Brett Favre is a baitin' mother." That's one of my favorite NFL clips. And before him was Bobby Ross. And before him was Wayne Fonts. Wayne freaking Fonts. Fonts, the only one to win a playoff game. He was 1-4 in the playoffs. The rest of nobody else won a playoff game. Bobby Ross lost 2. Jim Schwartz lost 1. Jim Caldwell lost 2. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, the Packers are pretty good.
Can you imagine? Just put your okay. Everybody out there right now watching this show, okay? I guarantee you got a pile of merch, okay? Hopefully you got some CheeseheadTV merch, by the way. But I guarantee you got a pile of merch, okay, of Packers merch. You got Mike McKenzie jerseys like I do. You got Craig Newsome T-shirts. You got Reggie White jerseys. Whatever your thing is, Jordy. I'm sure most of you got a Jordy Nelson jersey sitting back there that you're crying about. But you got a pile of Packers paraphernalia and merch, okay? Okay, now imagine instead of green and gold, it's blue and silver, and you're a loser.
Oh my gosh! Why just sent a shiver up my spine? It's like someone walked over my grave. Good Lord!
Just take a moment. We're this is the whole thing that you and I every Packer Transplants, which I cannot believe we've had over 200 shows. Although Andy Herman's already had 100 videos, which is hilarious, and he just started doing them 2 months ago or something. So imagine, every time this year, this time of year, we're always say, look, be thankful, not just because of Thanksgiving, but just because of where the Packers are, and stop, take a breath, enjoy the run, especially now.
This is the best time. This is the best time of year.
The worst people on Twitter, okay, the worst people, okay, the worst people on social media, period, are the people who say, I am so sick of getting to the NFC Championship game and losing. You're the worst person, okay? Detroit Lions fans want to punch you in the mouth. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, so true. So true. All right, let's talk some football. We'll start with the offense. We're going to talk about this demolishing of the Chicago Bears. And I understand Akeem Hicks was not present for the proceedings, and that undoubtedly was a big part of why they were so successful running up the middle. But I love watching the Green Bay Packers run between the tackles, and they did a lot of it. And I wanted to give the interior offensive line a shout-out versus the Bears, because whether it was Corey Linsley with Elton Jenkins and, of course, Lucas Patrick, or whether it was Elton Jenkins at center, Runyon at left guard, and Patrick at right guard, it didn't matter. These guys came to play, and they absolutely did all the things that they have really been kind of lacking in the last 2 or 3 weeks in the run game. Now, it helps that coach stuck with it. They continued to run. They clearly had a plan to exploit that area. But everything from working up off the initial double team to the second level, sealing off linebackers, making sure that everything was in concert as far as the steps the running backs were taken, because you've heard both Rodgers and LaFleur talk about missed aiming points, problems with timing. All of that looked phenomenal. And they worked in some of the angle stuff, some of the counter, some of the power. It was just a clinic, and it was a joy to watch. And if you go and you really geek out and watch the coach's tape from the end zone angle, you see there are so many plays that are just like, if you were a coach, this is how you would draw it up on a whiteboard. Like, it's so beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. So shout out to the interior O-line. Another aspect of that game that I thought was so noticeable that kind of jumped off the screen going back and watching it was Alan Lazard's physicality. This guy, we clearly missed him for a good stretch of time here during this season. And just kind of echo what Aaron Rodgers was talking about yesterday on Pat McAfee's show when he did mention Lazard, is the number of things he does that probably aren't ever going to show up on a stat sheet. But holy cow, the little things, whether it is, putting his foot in the ground and getting north and south to ensure that he gets a first down when he does have the ball in his hands, or his blocking along the exterior, the perimeter on some of those smoke and wide receiver screens, to obviously leading the way on some of the toss plays and or exterior runs. The guy's physicality just stands out, and his kind of relishing that physicality and wanting to find a guy to block, to go and work extra to make sure that the guy doesn't work free and turn what maybe would have been, or could have been a 4 or 5 yard run into a 12-yard run because of it. Those are the things that you're never going to get kind of plaudits for, so to speak, on ESPN. So that's why podunk little local shows like ours have to point them out, because holy cow, he does so much of it, and it's so fun to watch. That's
true, and that's the thing that, again, Aaron Rodgers was talking about, as you said, and Mercedes Lewis, again,
yes,
to him, how Aaron Rodgers was talking about Mercedes Lewis, again, doing the little things, and one of these guys who, to your point, does not have stats that ESPN is going to talk about, nobody really knows about,
right.
People like Aaron Rodgers talking about a player who has this leadership.
Big dog.
In
big
the
dog.
locker room, big dog, getting 400
400
in this
receptions.
Game. Pretty amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
400 receptions.
I love what Aaron said on McAfee's show yesterday in regards to this is not a way I thought about it. There are 6 other tight ends who have ever done that in the league, and all 6 of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty nuts. It speaks to his longevity. Obviously, he's never going to have the Star Wars numbers, to quote Jim Irsay. But he is such a amazing presence on this team. You see how the guys rally around him. That's so evident when he caught the touchdown pass and everyone was like barking in his face. I love what he brings to this team. Both on and
I also thought it was interesting. I know this show is basically becoming like, hey, deconstruct the Pat McAfee show with Aaron Rodgers from Tuesday. Hardly. But it's how we do. It's how we do. It's how I do. I love watching it. I watch it like Dusty Evely watches the All 22. Okay, like I'm into it. Okay,
I hear you.
So I'm like the interesting note about that was Aaron Rodgers talking about how Mercedes Lewis is one of these type of players that Aaron Rodgers was actually surprised that Packers
so noted
back.
that. Yes.
Right?
That was very interesting.
So
very telling.
You got to wonder what Brian was thinking about, right? You've got a cap number, but you got to imagine that Brian is looking for leaders. And with what Rodgers was saying about Mercedes Lewis, and you can even see it, like, you can't fake when a guy gets a touchdown, right, and the entire team is very excited for that guy. Yeah. There's like team excitement, and then there's like the player who got the thing excitement, right?
Yep.
It's like the first time Jordy Nelson ever got a touchdown, or the first time, you know what I mean? Like, totally. it's that like that, or the first time, yeah. It was just fascinating. You got to think that there is a path for veterans on this team to get paid, Corey Lindsley, because they have, that leadership. They have those extra intangibles, right? That aren't just they're a great player. And so sure. I hope that there's hope for some of those leaders on the Packers, and for the Packers to find a way to pay those guys.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, I mean, those are pretty different scenarios when you're talking about paying Corey Lindsley. I know you understand that. But to your point, it does make you wonder, where does that factor in, right? as far as the decision making. Now, obviously, it's a lot easier to bring Big Dog back towards the twilight of his career, for a 1-year deal than it is to pay Corey Linsley on his 3rd contract. However, you do wonder, okay, how much does the locker room factor into it? And the fact that, yes, they have a number of guys that need possibly to get paid, whether it's Corey, whether it's Kevin King, whether it's Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, what have you. Like that, exactly what you said when he said that yesterday, when Rodgers said that in regards to being surprised that they brought Big Dog back. I mean, I do tend to think it's probably, mostly kind of a singular thing for Mercedes Lewis. Like,
not a trend is what you're saying?
Probably not a trend team-wide, but you can't dismiss it. Because funny you mentioned that, because it was the one thing that really stuck out to me in that whole monologue about Big Dog, was that how Aaron said he was surprised that they brought him back.
Well, and I don't imagine, I don't know, maybe I'm really like speculating. I don't imagine Ted bringing Big Dog back for the same reason, right? It's not a draft and develop play.
Right. Yep. Especially
when you see what they have in Tunyon and Sternberger.
And you just drafted Sternberger a year ago, and you want to get him on the field. Well, bringing back an aged tight end is not going to allow that to happen. So, yeah, I think, I'm totally with you. I'm glad you brought that up, because it was the thing I really made me oh, that's interesting when Aaron mentioned it on the show. Okay, let's go talk about the defense. Your favorite time of the day. Talking defense.
Okay, wait. Before we talk about the defense, okay, can we just say, okay.
Whatever you got to say. It's your show.
This offense. Okay, this offense, before we leave the offense, I just want to say, this offense is everything I want and more. I just want to say that, okay?
Everything you want and more.
It's more. It's like the first time I ever saw that you could get non-dairy ice cream. You know what I'm saying? It's like I could have ice cream again, and it could be delicious. And I just feel like I don't care about our defense anymore. Like, I don't care.
Wait a second. Did you just go full PFF? Defense doesn't matter? Oh, my God.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
This offense.
We lost Corey.
This offense can crush. It just crushes. You saw that with the Bears. The Bears had a good defense, people. The Bears had a good defense. And people are like, oh, it's all Aaron Rodgers. It's not. It's Aaron Rodgers plus. Yeah. And when I say plus, you can see over time, you've seen this season, right? Yeah. The only thing that defeats this team is us turning the ball over. I've said this on Twitter. Yeah. I've said this. If we turn the ball over, we beat ourselves.
Is the only way this team gets beat.
That's it. And then the second thing that you're starting to see is, like, we've been talking about coach self-scouting himself, right? Right. You're starting to see coach is getting better. like the team is getting better, and it's not just the team. It's not just the offense gelling around. You can hear Aaron talking about it in the Pat McAfee show, and every week it gets more, where he's talking about he's even more confident in what coach is calling and what he's trying to call. Yep. And that is crazy. Well, it's crazy to me.
And now they're getting their pieces back. They're getting healthy. They are getting the Lazards of the world back. It's you're putting all the pieces together, so to speak. I think the sky's the limit. And defenses should be scared, because they can kill you in any number of ways. I think for me, the biggest kind of spotlight that about what you're talking about here is the fact that they had been feasting on these deep balls to MVS for weeks. And they were really, moving the ball that way, putting up points that way. MVS didn't touch the ball on Sunday, and they still put up 40 points. Now, obviously,
and to your point, I was going to bring up. I saw this all 22 play. I think Dusty put it, or whoever, right. And it was such a classic play when you're like, "Hey, what happened to MVS in that game?" Right. Well, MVS was creating space for EQ to run underneath, and MVS. So that's the thing. To your point, it's like, oh, okay, you want to take this puzzle piece away? Right. Well, we're still going to do that puzzle piece. Now you're going to put two guys on it, and we're going to put this guy underneath, or we're going to. So yes, 100%. And Devontae, Devontae, to me, especially in the middle part of the season, I feel like Devontae, for whatever reason, has actually been distracted, which is really scary if you think about it, right? He's had an uncharacteristic amount of fumbles and drops, fumble and drops. And
couple drops.
And, you know, if he doesn't do that, that's a whole nother level.
Yep, totally
That's
agree.
fifth gear. So, anyway, sorry.
I'm all in. No, dude. I think it's a really important point. Even though I cannot believe you just said defense doesn't matter. So should we even talk about the defense since it doesn't matter?
What's the defense?
It's the defense. Better. We saw better from Preston Smith. It was nice to see Preston show up and really kind of bring it. I thought he played the RPOs exceptionally well. And, you know, he's probably going to dismiss it when we talk to him this week. But I'm sure Rashaan Gary getting some more playing time and coach is talking to him about needing to step up. That seems to have worked because I think it's fair to say he played one of his best games that we've seen. And it's not a game that he saw. He didn't get a ton of sacks or anything, but he played well. He set the edge. Like I said, he handled the RPO
Picked up the DFR.
expertly. He got the DFR.
Got a touchdown.
He got a TD. So it was nice to see Preston active and a integral part of the defense once again. Speaking of integral parts, one of the things this team needs, it continues to need, definitely needed at the start of the year, and it maybe is starting to happen finally, is the maturation and development of that 2019 draft class, especially on the defensive side. We've seen now Gary and Savage really starting to come in. Like they are coming into their own, really hitting their stride. This is what they need. These are the guys that they need to start stepping up for this defense to take whatever next step they need to become a defense that doesn't play so inconsistently. These guys need to be the backbone of it, really, to drive them to a postseason, through a postseason. These are the guys that need to play well.
You wonder with Savage. So the only thing that I'm going to say about Savage is you just wonder, the Bears quarterback, he kind of
he sucks. Yeah, of course.
So he's terrible. So but, Savage feasted on him. So I just can't wait till that. To me, it's that next level, right? It's like Savage right now is like, almost a Michelin star restaurant, right? It's like he's like elevated his game to the level of like he can make sorbet from like fruit. But like he needs to get to that level where he basically like, he has the sous vide version of the sorbet. That's like on a little spoon, and then you just eat it, and then you're like, oh my God, I just felt like I just ate an entire sorbet. That is what I'm waiting for. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for the feast on. Oh, the Eagles might be a good place to start. So that would be nice. I'm ready for Savage to be a Savage. You saw it in the Bears game.
I tell you what, if when you're doing food analogies and you do anything other than brats and beer, I'm totally lost. So I'm sure that made a lot of sense for plenty of sorbet fans out there.
Kyle likes my analogies.
I'm sure he does.
I'm just pulling them. I pull them completely out of my ass.
I am
That's
aware.
What's awesome about
I am aware. That is very
Everyone
true.
is.
They're certainly not in the script. Let's put it that way.
There's a script.
And then for the final note I wanted to make about the defense, and it's not a great one. Christian Kirksey, he is not what we hoped for. I know a lot of people were kind of curious about the fact that they signed this guy who has obviously missed a lot of time due to injuries prior to this season, has now missed some more time due to injury with the Packers. I tend to think, because I was one who thought, okay, if he can regain the form that we saw early on in his career in Cleveland, they may have a player. They may have somebody who can really help them on the interior of this defense. I'm sad to say, I think the injuries have robbed him of the explosiveness that we saw in some of that early tape. He is noticeably slow, especially slower than most of the guys he's going up against. There is very little explosion to his game, and I'm not going to say he's a liability, and I think you have to play him because, especially now that Kamal Martin's been banged up, I don't want Ty Summers out there. Kirksey's the answer for now, but he's an unfortunate answer, and he's not what I think a lot of Packer fans were hoping he was going to be. And that's, that you signed him on the cheap. You got somebody with hopefully with some upside, could, like I said, recapture some form. I understand Brian making that move, but it certainly doesn't seem to be panning out. That's the nicest way I can put that.
You know what I really missed on Sunday, Nagler?
What's that?
I was really bummed about one thing about the defense on Sunday. I just felt like, Mike Pettin really does. We deserve at least one 3-man rush every game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to maximize the potential to get a DFR if you don't 3-man rush?
See, now who's trying to trigger someone? Yeah, I see what's up. Real quick, let's get to this Eagles-Packers game coming up on Sunday. That was a nice try. This Eagles defensive front is no joke, people. I don't know if you saw Monday night. They pretty much keep that team in games. Their offense is really hard to watch, but the defensive front, especially the defensive line, is out of this fucking world with talent. The one the Packers may be catching a break yet again. Last week, obviously, they missed having to see Akeem Hicks. Fletcher Cox, who has been a thorn in the Packers' side for many years, really drives what they do up front. He missed today's practice for the Eagles with a neck injury, so that's something to monitor. But even without Cox, this is a team. Last year, you just go back and watch that Thursday night game. The Packers they were running into a brick wall every time they tried to run the ball, and it didn't matter if they were trying to go inside, outside, trap, zone, what have you. Doesn't matter. The Eagles absolutely shut them down on the ground, and I am very curious to see what kind of adjustment Matt makes to try and attack it, because you obviously have to run the ball. But if they continue on doing the kind of things they were doing last year, I think they're not going to have much luck. So that defensive front, no joke. And then the only other real big note I want to point to in this game is how great it is that we now get Darius Slay versus Davante Adams again. Slay, many years in Detroit, he and Davante had some really fun matchups. Hell, Slay had some good matchups with Jordy back in the day. But now we don't get that with Detroit. But here he comes, and they play a hell of a lot more man. The Eagles do now because of Slay's arrival. They always put Slay on the number one. That is going to be Davante. That is going to be a heavyweight bout, and I am so excited to watch it. You'll remember last year, Davante started the year slowly production-wise and then absolutely exploded on the Eagles because they had no corners. This year, they've got a pretty darn good man corner, and you can bet he is going to shadow Davante wherever he goes. I'm very excited to watch that matchup because that is going to be worth the price of admission.
I don't think anybody can cover Davante.
Oh, no, not strictly one-on-one. If you, just say, go man up, we're not going to give you any help. We're not going to roll your way.
Yeah.
That's asking for trouble. But they will leave him man under if they have, a cover two. They rarely play cover three, but if they were to, they would probably play halves where one half is in zone and the other half is in man, wherever Davante is. They'll go cover zero sometimes, send the house and lock him up with the thought that Aaron's got to get the ball out of his hands quick. But whatever happens, however they call it, Slay will be on Adams, and it is going to be so fun to watch.
I mean, here's the other thing. Historically, Davante Adams could very well be on his way to the greatest wide receiver play by a Green Bay Packer ever all time this year.
That's
just statistically, right? From a touchdown standpoint.
True. It's true. It's true.
It's true. I know you're not. I know you're going to hate on it because you're going to talk about. I love Lofton. He played for a team that never made the playoffs or made them one time.
I wasn't going to talk about Lofton, but no. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, because you don't want anybody to be better than him. I know. I understand.
No. Sterling Sharp was better than everybody. It doesn't matter. It's Lofton was great, but Sharp was the man. We all know this. But Davante is a wizard.
Davante could have a better season than both of them this season.
We'll see. A lot of season left. We'll see how defenses go about it.
Definitely.
All right, Rob. Let's roll her there.
This week in the Packer blogosphere.
That's right. It's this week in the Packer blogosphere, the return of that venerable series. Corey Behnke, you mentioned it earlier. That's right. All we do now is kind of dissect the Pat McAfee show or his tweets about it. And he put out a doozy this afternoon in regards to Aaron Rodgers on his program yesterday. For those of you who may have missed it, Aaron did have a quip about the fact that many people thought he was done or his skills were declining this past offseason. And a lot of people, I think, took that as a shot at the Green Bay front office. But Pat had a different theory. Roll it, Rob.
Skip Bayless just tweeted, Aaron Rodgers takes a shot at Green Bay management, now on Undisputed. I don't think he took a shot at Green Bay management, by the way. I think the Green Bay management drafting Jordan Love set up a lot of people to talk about how he's lost it. I believe he was talking about the reaction to the Jordan Love draft pick by a lot of stooges that basically said this makes sense because Aaron Rodgers is way past his prime. Am I wrong in thinking that, or is that just too much fucking common sense for these people that have to get on television and speak?
No, that's absolutely right. And I think he was also more so talking about guys like Skip Bayless who were saying that he was done last year on their shows.
Exactly. So he didn't take a shot at management, actually. It turns out he took a shot at you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love everything about that because, A, he's absolutely 1,000% correct. I love Ty chiming in, Ty, burgeoning star. And I just love turning it around on the people like Skip Bayless, Colin Cowherd, etc., who we all know are full of shit. And that is 1,000% who Aaron was directing that comment to. So it's great. I just, well done, Pat. That's you can yell that stuff so I don't have to. It's great. I just can sit back and say, oh, look, Pat McAfee understands. It's so great. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think people are going to laugh at me because I'm making another analogy. No, I'm not. Okay, so I just think that with this whole COVID thing in 2020, people are understanding what the term latency and lag is, right? Right.
But what's really funny, okay, and those are technical terms, right? So there's latency. I listen to Aaron, I hear him a little bit late. Even when Pat on his show, he could hear Ty from the studio a little bit late.
Right.
So the draft, right? The draft is for the future. But no one understands the future. They only understand right now. And so when you try to live in the future with people on the internet, they have no idea what is going on. So you look at Jordan Love and you immediately go, oh, Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love pick has zero things to do with Aaron Rodgers. Zero things. Zero. They have to do with an organization that is over 100 years old that has to continue a mission of excellence that is bigger, vaster than the state of Wisconsin, than this country. It's bigger than all that, and it's got to keep going. It's got to have this momentum that goes through and through our lives, our small little human lives, so that it can have this legacy that is bigger than this little, really small town. That is why we drafted Jordan Love. I know that sounds like esoteric as hell, and it's hyperbolic, and honestly, it's an understatement. We drafted Jordan Love for the future. We don't live in the future. We live right now. But, Skip Bayless and, Colin Cowpie have to live right now, and they got to make money right now. So I get it. People fall into those traps. They're thirst traps, and now we got to be in them.
That's 1,000% correct, Behnke. That's so well stated. I'm very impressed. Did you do, homework or rehearsals or something without me? What is going on? That was so well stated. That was so well stated because it's so true. It's what I've been kind of going on about for the last month or so. It's
why you don't want to talk about wide receivers anymore. We're done. We're done. I was done in April. We were done in April. If you go back and watch our draft show, okay?
I know.
If you go back and watch our draft show, you and I are literally if you go back and watch our draft show, you and I was fighting Bukowski. I was fighting everybody because everybody was trying to live right now, and they weren't thinking about the future. They just weren't. They didn't. It's like you tell people what the draft is, and they can't get it in their mind, and then 3 years later, they're rooting for the player that they hated.
That they hated during the draft.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. Hey, to continue on now with Blogosphere, we do often use this segment to take shots at people or highlight people that we don't like. I wanted to give a shout out sometimes, occasionally, every once in a while. Okay. But this week,
like Mike Daniels, like Mark Daniels.
This week, I wanted to be a little more positive, Corey.
Sorry.
I wanted to give a shout out to one of our own. I wanted to give a shout out to our social guru, Tyler for a bunch of reasons, because he's flipping awesome. But just this right here, Rob, could you throw up this graphic? This made me laugh so hard this morning. Top activity of 2020, dropping 40-plus on every divisional opponent, the picture of Rodgers, and the Spotify thing, linking it in on the day Spotify drops all their, this is your most listened to stuff for 2020, etc. It's so good. Like, it seems simple, but it's so smart. Tyler is the absolute man. The fact that this guy reached out to us, we didn't go find him. He literally just dropped in our inbox and was like, hey, can I do some tweets for you? And we were like, yeah, I guess, whatever. And he's been like probably one of, if not the best development for the Cheesehead TV brand in 2020. So big shout out to Tyler.
Tyler does everything on Cheesehead TV social that I've been trying to get you to do for a decade.
That's correct. But I'm no good at it. So that's my point. That's the kind of thing I would never think to do, that Spotify thing. But it makes so much sense. It's so smart. It's so fun. It's everything I'm not. So that's why we have Tyler.
I literally will go on Twitter, and I used to be like, oh, what has Aaron Nagler said? And so I can retweet it. Now I start with Cheesehead TV, and then I go to Nagler.
Wise decision. Very wise decision.
So that's saying something.
I love it. All right, let's talk to some fine folks here on the chat. We got a few some super chats, I think. Let's
supers.
Some supers. We got Legless 1. You know why the Eagles D-line doesn't scare me? Elton Torrance Jenkins Jr. I'll buy that. I'll buy that, definitely. We got Patrick. Oh, Patrick, tuning in from across the pond. What's up, Patrick? Like David und es to Cheesehead TV, go Pack go. Patrick, trying to get me to do more voices or more, what do you call them, accents? Nobody wants that. Dustin, thank you for the super chat. Bears missing Hicks, and some fans say that's the reason they got stomped. Kenny Clark is more valuable to the Packers, who went 3-0 without him. Just saying. Very interesting point. Very interesting point. Obviously, they play in very different defenses, are used very differently, but that is a very interesting point. Shaoli, probably not pronouncing that correctly. Thank you for your super chat. He says simply, Corey for president. I mean, I don't
want that job.
That's a platform I can get behind. That's a
president
candidate
of the Packers.
That's a candidate I can jive with. I love it.
President of the United States, no, but president of the Packers, count me in. As long as I don't make any personnel decisions, don't do that.
Yeah,
and I'm self-aware enough to understand that I would not want to do that.
Nobody wants that.
I would literally create a wall between myself and personnel. But, I would definitely up the game day experience, and Wes would get a raise and promoted.
Yeah,
what else would I do? I need to build my platform. Okay, so, yes, anyway.
Okay, we've got a couple more added to the queue here. First up, we've got Dustin again. Thank you again for the super chat. Mark Daniels doesn't carry the G and isn't fit to carry MVS's jockstrap. People, I'll tell you what, man, Mark, he made some enemies with that question time with Coach after the game in Indianapolis. No doubt about it. Here we've got Jay Western, says simply, love you, Nags. Well, that is entirely kind. That's way too nice. Entirely too good for the likes of me. But I thank you for it, 100%. Michael, let's see. We got Michael M., who says, fans need to be patient with Tavon Austin, but he is going to come through big time once he gets the system down. Look out during the playoffs. I mean, let's hope so. I think there's a good chance he is only utilized as a return man early on. But yeah, as you say, the more kind of ingratiated he gets into the offense, he has played in this system before when he was with the Rams, but like Matt said this afternoon, there's lots of things they do differently, terminology, etc. So I do think it'll be a growing time.
You know what's cool, Nagler, about Tavon Austin is he's going to be a returner, right? So we've got we got some final games, right? He gets returner, right? And as we get to the playoffs, he becomes Andre Rison.
Yeah, but everyone,
See where I'm going with that?
Everybody remembers Andre Rison's touchdown in the Super Bowl.
See where I'm going with that?
But he only had one touchdown in the regular season. It was in the last game. It's kind of fun.
I'm okay with that.
I know.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with touchdowns in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. I'm okay. I'm just saying, like, that ascension, like, oh, we got a pickup, and then we got, oh, yeah, okay.
We've seen it play out before, no doubt about it. Corey Mansky, thank you for the super chat. Domofsky's tweet about A-Rod only needing 3 TDs to have 400 to become the 7th player to do so is awesome. I hope he gets all 3 Sunday. That would be pretty freaking dope.
You missed, there's one more you missed, I think. You see it now? Showley, who wants to be president.
There we go. I got it. Patrick always carries.
I gotta stick with my guy.
Patrick always carries the Swiss flag G. P.S. You can call me Oliver. Thank you.
Oliver.
Oliver.
Okay.
Thanks, Oliver. That's entirely too kind. We have someone asking about what you were asking about during the game, too, Corey. This isn't a super chat, but Dave asks, why did Matt LaFleur play Aaron Rodgers so deep into that game against the Bears?
Oh, why?
I did ask. I asked Matt that roundaboutly. I asked Matt that question, and you were not pleased with Coach's answer.
Okay, here's the thing. Coach. Hey. Okay, I love you. Okay, so let's just start with that first. Okay. They wouldn't have come back. Just take them out. It's fine. It's okay. It's like going for it on 4th and down. It's like, just pull them. If you got to put them back in, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's saving face is not as important as protecting your quarterback.
That's it. That's all you got for Matt. It sounds like some solid logic to me, but you know.
I don't get it. I still don't get it. I get his answer, but it's like, so what? So they would have started coming back, and then you have to put Aaron. Like, what's the big deal?
Right.
He took his helmet off and he sat on the bench and he put his warmer on, and now he can't take it off and come back as Superman and go get a field goal because they're coming back. I'm lost. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a very old school way of thinking for a new school guy. I think that was kind of surprising. To me, that was the thing, especially since you had Boyle warming up. So you clearly meant or were thinking about making the switch. And then, of course, as they always do, the Packers defense goes, whoa, what's going on? It's the 4th quarter. I guess we don't have to play anymore. And all of a sudden, they're scoring. So 2-possession game. I get it. He wants to keep his quarterback in. Again, I'm with you. I just think, take him out. And if you need to, put him back in.
I also, Jersey Al saying that this. Okay, here's the thing. Tim Boyle needs time. Because here's what's going to happen, and everybody's going to say I'm jinxing the Packers right now. I'm not doing it, okay? But I'm just saying we're 8-3. We're going to get closer to the playoffs, right? We need Tim Boyle to have time. He's got to get some positive yards. The guy's been doing heroes work, getting victory formations with negative yardage. Like, give the guy a chance to make some plays. And also, like, who's to say you put Tim Boyle in and he doesn't score a touchdown? Like, I'm not saying, like, give up your offense. Take one guy out. Keep everybody else in. Take one guy out. That guy, Aaron Rodgers, take him out. Because you need him.
Yeah, I agree.
He's really important, and you already won the game.
You already won the game.
Thrown.
Here's my other thing, too. The Bears were being little bitches all night, Fuller especially. So the chance of some Yahoo going off on Rodgers late with a hit, rolling up on him on purpose, etc., I don't want anything to do with that, any of that. So, yeah, I'm with you, Corey. It was ridiculous to me. But,
I mean, honestly, if you look at it, history, right?
Right.
Once Wayne Larrivee throws the dagger, it's over.
Do they have that in Coach's earpiece? They should. That'd be great.
They should. That should be like Lambeau should basically have, like, Lambeau should just, like, have some kind of sign like, the dagger has been thrown. And then it's like, okay, game's over. Everybody leave. Bye.
Al, we're not wrong. We have microphones. That means we're right. All right. Corey, you got anything else for the fine folks at home?
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited about Watch Party. Join us for the Watch Party.
Absolutely.
We've got a later game, right? We've got an afternoon game.
Hey, we do, 4:25. Tomorrow night is our Patreon Zoom happy hour. If you are a Patreon member, the Zoom info is on the Patreon page. Please join us. If you haven't already, it's a lot of fun. If you're not a member of Patreon, please consider giving us $5 a month or even more. Patreon.com/CheeseheadTV helps support everything we do with the brand. I'm I'm serious. It is a ton of fun. It is very relaxed. It's really growing too. We get more and more people every week. It's a lot of fun. It's just hanging out on Zoom, drinking and talking ball. It's a really good time. Can't thank
and Nagler's going to be in a really bad mood. Nagler's going to be in a little bit of a bad mood probably because I'm doing my all hands meeting right before it. So
there you go. Did you do that
drinking.
right? Did you do that on purpose? Like you place that right there so I can go from one to the next? That'd be good.
Well, it was the only time I had, honestly, but I did. Honestly, the way you should think about it is I actually slotted it in and I made sure I didn't run over into the Patreon happy hour.
I thank you for that. I thank you for that. The Patreon members, thank you for that.
Dustin, thanks for that last super chat. The Bears defense showed more fight on the kneel downs trying to keep TBS from getting no gain than they did the rest of the game.
It's true. It's very true. And now, because of that, Coach has told TBLS to stop doing the kneel forward so he doesn't lose yardage. Bears ruin everything, man. Any fun little thing, they got to ruin it. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Packer Transplants. We'd like to thank everyone who joined us today and who makes Cheesehead TV part of their daily Packers routine. We are and will always be devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide.
2.86, Tom says. So yes, it's a roundup in that case. But
I was trying to be generous.
Thank you, Nags. I appreciate that. I understand your question. I think there may be a misnomer among yourselves and the others at Cheesehead TV. Is that right?
That is correct.
That maybe if the 2nd and 10 is called and it's a run pass, and I'm going to choose to pass out of spite for the.
Not spite. I didn't say spite. Come on now.
Okay.